Okay. Back at it. Okay. This, yes. I don't think I'll ever need a...
Gypsy Rose Blanchard's latest live stream has left many people talking, but not for the reasons one might expect. For someone who just stepped into motherhood, there was a noticeable lack of genuine reflection, emotional depth, or even a real attempt to connect with her audience on what it means to be a new mother. From the moment she went live, it was clear that this wasn't going to be an honest discussion about her new chapter in life. Instead, what unfolded was a chaotic, self-indulgent stream of distractions, where she seemed more interested in discussing trivial matters rather than addressing the responsibilities that now come with being a parent.
That's... I mean, if I was like high fashion, but I'm not doing all that. That's a no. Yeah, no. Alright, one whole bag cleared out.
What made the entire situation even more frustrating was how effortlessly she shifted the focus back to herself at every turn, making her baby feel more like an afterthought than the centerpiece of her new reality. There was something unsettling about how detached she seemed throughout the live stream. While many were expecting an emotional update, some insight into her struggles, or even a heartfelt moment about adjusting to motherhood, none of that happened. Instead, what the audience got was a bizarre mix of random topics that had nothing to do with her child. The most shocking part was that whenever she did mention her daughter, it was either in passing or in a way that made it clear she was avoiding discussing the actual realities of being a mother. There was no mention of late-night feedings.
On to the next. Hey, Scotland! I think I'm making a gigantic dent.
No talk about the overwhelming emotions of taking care of a newborn, and no reflection on how her life has changed since giving birth. One of the most glaring moments came when she finally acknowledged her 2-month-old daughter, but not in a way that most new mothers would. Rather than sharing a sweet bonding moment or expressing how much love she has for her child, she instead chose to focus on how hard it was for her to watch the baby get shots at the doctor's office. She described how she couldn't handle seeing her child cry and admitted to walking away because it was too difficult for her to witness. Instead of comforting her daughter, holding her, or whispering reassurances like any mother would instinctively do, Gypsy removed herself from the situation entirely.
You know, in the time that I took Ken's phone call, I could have modded who I needed to mod.
The way she said it so casually, almost as if she expected sympathy for how difficult the moment was for her, was jarring. This moment alone spoke volumes about her mindset. This is the same Gypsy Rose who endured years of intense medical abuse, lived through extreme trauma, and even orchestrated her own mother's murder. Yet, the sight of her baby receiving a routine vaccination was somehow too much for her to handle. That wasn't an expression of deep maternal concern. It was a clear sign of emotional detachment. It wasn't about her baby's pain. It was about her own discomfort. And what made it worse was how quickly she brushed past the subject.
Do you love your daughter? I'm genuinely asking because you posted this and it has a lot of us confused. Love is not given, it's earned. Okay, so I can understand this thought process with respect, but you bring a little life into this world. You see her little...
Moving on as if the moment had never happened. There was no reflection, no follow-up, no talk about how she was adjusting to caring for a newborn. It was just another topic to check off the list before she dove into a completely different, unrelated conversation. As the live stream continued, it became increasingly clear where her priorities were. Instead of talking about the joys and struggles of motherhood, she rambled on about things like parade floats, unloading storage bins, and debating whether or not to keep a romper she bought from Shine. Meanwhile, her newborn was sleeping in the background, completely ignored. There was no moment of pause, no affectionate glance, no sense that she was even aware of the profound responsibility she now has.
You don't automatically love her. That's called unconditional love. There's such a thing where we love somebody with no conditions or stipulations, like our kids. I have a song about this that I sing.
The fact that she spent more time discussing her shopping habits than she did talking about her child raised serious concerns about her level of emotional involvement in motherhood. This wasn't just a momentary lapse of focus, it was a pattern, a recurring theme of self-centeredness, materialistic distractions, and an avoidance of anything truly meaningful. There was no mention of her baby's developmental milestones, no sweet anecdotes, no sign of the overwhelming love that most new mothers feel when they look at their child. Instead, it was all about her things, her schedule, her discomforts. It was as if motherhood was just another chapter in her life rather than the life-changing experience that it actually is. For most women, becoming a mother is a transformative experience. Their world shifts, their priorities change, and everything becomes centered around the new life they've brought into the world.
That I love him unconditional, and what that is. I'm not going to sing it, but this is concerning. I am so concerned, y'all. Like, this really bothers me. Not this in particular, I mean this, but just the whole thing collectively.
But with Gypsy, nothing seemed to have changed. There was no instinctual worry, no natural shift in perspective, no sign that she had truly stepped into the role of being a mother. It was as if she was treating the entire experience like a performance, playing the part without fully embracing the reality of it. At one point in the live stream, she casually mentioned how much maternity clothing she had and how many outfits she had never even worn, instead of discussing the challenges of sleepless nights, postpartum emotions, or even how she was learning to care for her baby. She was fixated on organizing her wardrobe. She spent time debating which dresses to keep, which items to donate, and which pieces might still be useful in the future. It was an almost surreal moment, a stark contrast to what people expect from a new mother.
2 months today. So today she just had her 2-month vaccines. Oh my god, that was so hard to watch. I had to walk away. I could not watch the little tears. Oh god, that was rough.
Rather than expressing gratitude for her child or reflecting on the weight of her new responsibility, she was completely wrapped up in material things. This wasn't just a bad live stream, it was a revealing look into a much deeper issue. Gypsy's behavior suggested that she still sees herself as the main character in her own story, with everything else, including her own child, being secondary. It raised an important question. Does she truly see herself as a mother yet? Or is this just another role she's playing for the public eye? The avoidance, the lack of connection, the constant focus on herself, it all pointed to a reality that many people weren't expecting. And if this live stream was any indication, Gypsy Rose Blanchard might not be as ready for motherhood as she wants people to believe. Instead of heartfelt reflections on motherhood or sweet updates about her baby, Gypsy seemed more preoccupied with sorting through her maternity wardrobe. Yes, while most new moms are adjusting to sleepless nights and bonding with their newborns, Gypsy is busy deciding which outfits still fit her aesthetic.
Okay. What do you want me, you want me to bag these and just put them in the front way by the fireplace?
You could do like...
Aurora, get out of the...
Her comments during the stream were just as baffling. At one point, she casually mentioned, "I mean, it may be a while until we have another one. So in the meantime, I'm going to donate my maternity clothing." Hold on, shouldn't the focus be on the baby she already has? Because, based on this live stream, she barely acknowledges this one as it is. Instead of cherishing these early moments of motherhood, she's already talking about moving on, as if her firstborn is just another chapter in her life rather than a lifelong commitment. And it's not just what she says, but how she says it. There's no warmth in her voice, no excitement when mentioning her baby, no sense that she's truly embracing the weight of being a mother. It's almost as if motherhood is just another experience she's checking off, right alongside her pregnancy wardrobe.
Yeah.
All right.
Was she? Oh, you.
She ran here.
No, she didn't. Not yet anyway. But I fed her a little while ago.
I told you.
It's so hard.
But motherhood isn't something you pack up and move on from. It's not a fashion phase that sits in storage until you decide you want to revisit it. It's an all-consuming, life-altering responsibility, and so far, Gypsy's words and actions don't exactly scream dedicated mom. Being a mother isn't just about taking cute pictures or casually mentioning your baby in passing. It's about sacrifice, putting someone else before yourself. And if this live stream made anything clear, it's that Gypsy still doesn't quite grasp that concept. Motherhood is about long nights, early mornings, the relentless cycle of feeding, comforting, and protecting your child. It's about the unseen moments, the quiet sacrifices, the constant worry, the deep emotional shift that comes with realizing you're responsible for another life.
Well, then she said finally something.
No, not that. I mean, where they
Yeah,
did the
it's so
shots.
sore.
Where they did the shots, it's like I'm holding her like this, and it touches her legs, so it makes her cry more.
Oh, she's innocent. Remember you her,
Snipping
the
all
power
that stuff.
of her.
But in Gypsy's world, those moments don't seem to exist. What we do see is detachment, self-absorption, and an almost eerie indifference to the life she just brought into the world. This isn't about expecting her to be a perfect mother, no one is. Every new parent struggles. Every mom faces exhaustion, doubt, and moments of frustration. But what defines a good mother is effort, the willingness to put their child's needs before their own. Yet Gypsy doesn't seem to struggle the way most moms do. There's no mention of sleepless nights, overwhelming emotions, or the exhaustion that comes with caring for a newborn, because it doesn't even seem like she's fully engaging in that experience. There's a difference between having a baby and being a mother, and right now, Gypsy seems stuck in the first category while avoiding the second. This live stream wasn't just messy, it was telling. It showed exactly where her priorities lie, and more importantly, where they don't. It exposed an unwillingness to grow, to shift perspective, to acknowledge that her past no longer defines her, but her present choices do. Gypsy has had countless people sympathize with her, excuse her, and justify her actions.
I said, Gypsy went. I said, I'm hiding. I don't want her to
I'm
think
like,
I'm a boy.
exactly. I was like, if she's gonna associate pain, associate it with the nurse and not me. So I'm like, I'm
That's why
walking
I
over
don't
right now. I
know.
cannot do this.
I told her, I said, that's why I said, I just told her that's why you came, because I couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at what point does that safety net disappear? At what point does she have to stand on her own and take accountability for who she is now? And perhaps the biggest question of all, how long can she keep making excuses before people start realizing that maybe, just maybe, Gypsy isn't the victim in every story anymore? More importantly, how long before she realizes that herself? Let's just hope, for the baby's sake, that she figures it out before it's too late. Because if she doesn't, her daughter will grow up in the shadow of a mother who never truly prioritized her. And that's the most heartbreaking part of all. Children don't ask to be born. They don't get to choose their parents, their environment, or the level of love and care they receive. They rely entirely on the person who brought them into this world. Gypsy has the opportunity to rewrite her own narrative, to prove she can be more than just the product of her past. But as it stands, she's falling short in the one role that matters more than any other, the role of a mother. If she doesn't wake up to that reality soon, the damage won't just be to her own reputation, it'll be to her daughter's future. And that's all for today's tea, but trust me, this conversation is far from over. What do you think about Gypsy's approach to motherhood? Is she just adjusting in her own way, or is there something deeper going on? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear everything. And don't forget, if you love staying up to date on the latest drama, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on those post notifications so you never miss a sip of the tea. Until next time, stay messy, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.